Okay, so check this out. So last week we get it like 2 weeks ago, and so we're like, all right, let's do a test this week. And Dana wanted to live stream it, so he says it'll be easiest to do that. So I said, okay, let's go ahead and live stream. And
you never live stream as a test, bro.
Well, I mean, we weren't going to leave it up, no
Okay.
matter what. And it wasn't like we were going to do anything bad or anything. We were preaching a sermon. So
Yeah, but you the recording might not be what you want. You might need to move the thing to another spot or whatever.
Well, the spot wasn't the problem.
Gotta tinker.
The problem was the internet kept going out.
Yeah.
And so on the camera, it's literally like that big. I showed you that. I showed you a picture of it.
Yeah.
It's itty bitty. I'll take a picture of it. I'll probably set it up tomorrow, and I'll take a picture from where I preach so you can see where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
It's really it's close.
Yeah.
It's like 6 feet away from me. Okay.
Whoa, really?
But it's on the front. It's on the front row, and it captures the entire stage.
Okay, so like some wide angle kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty legit. Like if you like what you saw there, that's 6 feet away from me.
Yeah.
And you can zoom in and you can zoom out further.
See, I would have thought that it was further back and it was zooming in.
Nope.
Man.
It is zoomed in.
Business then.
It is zoomed in, but the thing is, you can't it doesn't bother anybody else because it's so small.
Yeah.
It's literally in between in the middle of a row. In between two chairs.
Okay.
The chairs are split a little bit further apart. We have 2 reserve signs that we put on either side of it, and that way people don't sit there and bump it. We have a thing marked out on the floor to put it every single week because we take it out. We don't leave it in. And so basically what happens is when it's not recording, there's like a blue ring around the top. It shines blue.
Mm-hmm.
When it starts to record, it turns red. So I walk up and I'm getting ready to start preaching. There's background, the music we have, the bumper video we have comes on, and then I look and I see it's red, and I go, okay, it's recording. So I start preaching. I'm just going, doing my thing. About 5 minutes into my sermon, I'm looking and I look and I make eye contact with people, and I look and I see the camera again, and it's blue.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, okay. Well, this test is a fail.
Yeah.
Because
that's
it
why
just
you
cut
test.
off.
Yeah.
But then but it kind of just takes my attention away. It just gets me off just a little bit.
Yeah.
When you're preaching, you want to be focused. And so I'm preaching, I'm focused on my sermon, and then I see the camera's off. I'm like, oh, we're not recording. So I'm thinking that while I'm preaching.
Yeah.
Which kind of messes me up. And then I shake it off and I keep going. I walk, I come back across a couple minutes later and it's red again. Mm-hmm. Oh, now we're recording.
Yeah.
A couple minutes. It kept going on and off the entire service because the internet kept cutting out.
Oh.
And so I was just like, all right. And it kind of messed me up. And so I said, Daniel was like, yeah, it didn't work too well. It worked as in it went up. Some of it went up there, but we missed 5 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
Okay. So we would significantly have to up our internet in order to make sure it runs. Probably get a designated, spot for it on the router, which is fine. We can do that. But I was like, I don't want to live and die by the internet because no matter how great of internet you have, it goes out.
Well, yeah.
And so I just said, let's just record it hard, on the hard drive. It's like a 16 gigabyte, little chip in there.
Yeah.
And we can put bigger ones in there. It's no big deal. But we record it on there. It's high definition. And not to mention the stuff that went live was blurry. It was real blurry.
Yeah.
This last week we went ahead and did it. We didn't go live. We just recorded it. I put it on my computer, and then we created a YouTube channel, which I think is the way to go, and then embedded it into the website. I mean, it's so much easier. So, but I have to upload. The video when everybody's asleep because the internet just gets sucked by all the devices and everything that everybody's using in the house. Because our TVs are run on internet.
Can't you just upload it at the church? Set it up
could,
to upload
the next
at the church,
morning.
Then walk out the door on your way home.
I could, but I'm putting it onto my computer because I have all the newer stuff to cut it down and get it, and it moves a lot faster than on my computer than it does on the church computer because it's older, not as much space. So it worked, and I did the lowest resolution I could this week.
Yeah.
I'm going to up it. I'm going to put it. It was 420. I'm going to up it to 780, and then it'll be a lot better this week.
Cool.
So, but I thought it was pretty good. It wasn't too bad. Yeah. And that camera automatically follows me around, dude. No one's doing that. There are a couple times where Dana did something that like zoomed in on me, but then everything else, it just follows me automatically.
Does he have to sit next to it to operate it?
He's sitting in the back of the auditorium, and it's on his phone.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
It's an app. It is really cool. It's very, very cool. But yeah, it worked. It's an interesting little piece of technology.
Nice little toy,
and I think it's good for I think it's good for churches that are just getting into recording, like, you know, the sermons, like that way. I think it's a good little piece of equipment.
Yeah.
So it's top of the line. I mean, the camera in this thing, like the lens, it's got to be like absolutely amazing, because literally the picture that it throws or captures, it's like, I'm telling you, it's 6 to 7 feet in front of the stage, and I can see the whole stage with it.
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's not like it's a wide angle lens.
Right.
I really am that fat. Can it be? Can it be? Yeah, it can. It's your two favorite facially blessed individuals, the legendary Two Bearded Preachers.
Legendary.
Aiming to misbehave on this beautiful evening, and we're so glad you joined us. Welcome to the show.
Justin, you had a horrible thing happen to you this week, didn't you? Horrible.
I had two horrible things, but we can start. Which one? Yeah, which one did you?
Let's do it one at a time. You were forced to give the talk this week, weren't you?
Hold on. Let me just go check to make sure we're clear to talk. All right.
Okay, you clear it. So this episode, we did not have anything planned necessarily, but Justin did tell me in a brief texting conversation that he had to give his boy the talk, and now he's back.
Okay, we're clear to talk.
Talk.
You should leave that part in.
What did you have to check on?
To make sure my kids are sleeping.
But didn't you give the talk to your kid?
Yeah, but I don't want him hearing me talking to anybody else about giving him the talk.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm trying not to make him feel embarrassed by it.
By the talk.
By the talk I had with him.
Why would I'm not trying to make? It's just biology, man. Why would the talk be embarrassing for him?
Because he's a kid, and you should have seen him. Okay, he was freaking out. So
okay, why did you have to give him the talk? Was he ready for the talk?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if you told everybody why I had to go check, but I was forced into giving the sex talk, having the sex talk with my 8-year-old son.
Yes. Well, it's about time. It's about time.
You think? When did you have the sex talk with your kid?
We're having a progressive conversation, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's not to the level of me giving him tips and stuff. But
what? Oh my gosh.
It's more like
I hope not.
It's more like, where do babies come from? Mommy and the daddy,
Yeah.
Have a baby, that kind of stuff, We're still somewhat vague, but anyway, at different times the kids would ask different questions, and I'll tell you what, man, I don't pull any punches. You ask me a question, I'm going to tell you what I know, and I don't care if you're an adult or if you're a child or whatever. You say, you see something on TV or a cartoon or something, and then they ask you the question, and then you just tell them, hey, this is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm the same way, and I always felt that when I had to have the talk with the kids, that I'm not going to hold back. I'm just going to go for it. I'm just going to be I'm going to tell them. I'm going to tell them what it is.
You're going to keep it 100?
Yep. Because I'm too legit.
Too legit, right. 100.
Too legit to quit.
300.
Yeah. So anyways, So this is what happens. We record our, this last week we started recording our sermons on video recording.
Right.
And so Faye's like, I'm going to go home. No, she says, I'm going to go to the store. You go ahead and take the boys home. I take the boys home. I have this little scan disc, this little card with the sermon on it. And so the boys and I had to go to the store too, but I'm like, let me just throw this on the computer and just see how it looks.
Yeah.
You know?
Check it out.
Just want to check it out because this is the first time we've done it. And so I put it up there and I'm like watching like the first, 15 minutes of it. It's weird to see yourself.
Yeah.
To see yourself preach. It really is.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching it, and Toby is playing on his Kindle, sitting next to me, and Jonas is just sitting me watching me preach too. And I don't care. He can hear me preach. I'm not saying anything bad. It's actually a pretty good sermon, I think. And I get to this part where like I'm talking about happiness. Like what makes you happy, and I'm saying, here's the thing: we try to make ourselves happy with all this different things, like money. And I had this illustration where it's like it's a box. I'm like, which is here's a whole nother. This was embarrassing too, but I'll explain this. But I called it the happy box.
The happy box, okay? Right?
The happy box. I'm like, so we got our happy box here, and at the bottom of the happy box, the circle was cut out.
Okay.
It was like it was cut out of the bottom. And so I go, we sit here and we wonder why we fill our lives with stuff that's supposed to make us happy, why it doesn't make us happy. And then I said, it's kind of like this. And I have like a sign that says money on it. And I said, we think money will make us happy. And I put it in the box, it falls out the bottom automatically. And I take, new car, put it in the box, falls out the bottom. Everybody's all like, ha, 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 ha. They're like laughing and everything and giggling a little bit, because it's like here, I think it's going to make me funny, but it just goes right through. Done over. It's not going to last. I keep going. I'm like, money, clothes, food. Everybody's like, yeah, we love food. Success. And then the last one, I hold it. I kind of hold it to myself, and I said, "You want to know what the last one is? Can I say it?" And I turn it over. It says sex on it. I did not use a picture. I used a picture for everything else. Did not use the picture for sex.
No.
Just wanted to clarify that. Yeah. Dana was like, "Why didn't you find a picture for sex?" I said, "Because it's I would have been fired."
You could have had like people holding hands with interdigitated fingers. Yeah, that could have been it.
Yeah. Nah, that's not going to work.
No.
So I hold up the sex sign. I go, "Can I say this in church?" And I go, "Sex." Like that. Everybody starts laughing. I put it in there. It falls at the bottom. Well, Jonas is watching this entire time. Okay?
Yeah.
He doesn't say anything to me. Later on, Faye is putting the boys to bed, and I'm just chilling out. I'm like, I'm going to go watch some wrestling or something like that. It was, because it was Sunday night. I'm going to go watch wrestling. Faye comes in. She goes, "Hey, guess what?" I go, "What?" "You get to have the talk." And Jonas is standing behind her, like cowering. And I go, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Well, he saw your video that had sex in it, and then he told me, I know what that is." He goes, "I know. I saw the Justin Daddy's video, and he had sex in it. He had the sign that said sex." And he goes, "I know what that is."
If anybody starts like listening to the conversation like right now, they're going to be all like, "What's in what video? What is going on?"
Little sex video.
I didn't think this was like a dirty podcast.
Well, we just went blue. So, anyways, I go ahead. She says, "Yeah." He says, he knows about sex, and she goes, "Well, where did you learn about sex?" He goes, "School."
All right.
Number one, they're not teaching him anything in school. It's his little buddies. So she goes, "It's time, Justin." And I go, "Have a seat, son." And he's sitting on the bed, and I go, "How about this? You tell me what you know, and I'll fill in the blanks."
Oh, dear.
He goes, "I want, Dad. I want to." I'm like, "Why not?" He goes, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, "Dude, you're not in trouble. Like, it's all right."
This educational experience, right?
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, so I don't want to talk about this, Dad. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about this." I said, "It's too late. We're talking about it."
The cat's out of the bag, kid.
Cat's out of the bag, man. You gotta know that stuff.
You can't uneat that apple.
Nope, you can't. So he says, so I said, "You gonna tell me what you know?" And he goes, "No, I don't want to." I said, "That's fine." I said, "You want me to tell you what sex is?"
You're gonna tell him everything.
I said, I'm gonna tell you what sex is. And I start off, I say, "Sex is a gift from God." That's what I start.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And then he looks, and like when I said that, it's interesting. When I said that, he relaxed. Seriously, like he was so tense. He was so freaking out. And I said, "Sex is a gift from God." And when I said it, his shoulders dropped. And he took his head to the side, and he goes, "Oh, really?" I said, yeah, sex is a gift from God, and it's a very good thing. It's a very beautiful thing, and God made it so that for man and woman to enjoy together, husband and wife.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I said, and so it's a very beautiful thing when it's used the way God intended to use it. But there's also a wrong way to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I said, there's a wrong way is when we don't keep it in marriage, and there's a lot of people that go out there and have sex outside of marriage. And when you do that, it can be, and I didn't say it definitely is, but it can be very bad and it can be very dangerous. And he was like, how can it be dangerous, Dad? And I go, son, diseases. You can get diseases from doing that. I said, we'll talk about that some other time. We'll go into that a little bit more later, but that's the truth. You can. I said, But it's a beautiful thing. And honestly, it's where you and your little brother came from. And he's like, really? I said, yes. Your mommy and daddy had sex, and you were the result of it. And he goes, oh.
Yeah.
And then, so then I had to.
So all that stork stuff is nonsense.
Yeah, that's nonsense. Because then he was just like, and he goes. I said, well, here, and I asked who he heard it from. It was some like little buddy at school or something going around telling him what sex is and everything.
Yeah.
He's just like he didn't tell him anything. The kid didn't know. The kid's dumb. He's third grade. He doesn't know anything. Not my kid. My kid knows more than any other kid now. But I just basically said, you want me to tell you what it is? And I'll tell you exactly what it is. And I told him, man does this, woman does this. That's the way it works. This fits in there. Bam, you're good. That's how it works. There's more part to it. And he was like, I'll just tell you this because I don't want to say it. Okay. But like I said this, I said, man has a penis.
Yes.
And woman has a vagina. Those are the two terms I used.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and goes, well, I know about the penis one.
Yeah.
But I've never heard that word. The other word. I said, that's the word used for the woman's. And he goes, I've heard other words.
Whoa.
Oh, really?
Hey, fella.
Hey-o. What kind of, I said, what words have you heard? He goes, I don't want to tell you, Dad. He goes, I've heard it called something else. And I'm like, he's like, I heard it called something else. Well, why don't you tell me? I don't want to tell you. And so I go, dude, it's all right. He goes, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, dude, you're not going to tell me something that I ain't heard before.
I already heard it.
Guess what? I was wrong. He goes like this. He goes, it starts with a B.
What?
And I was all like, what? I said,
a B?
It starts with a B? He then proceeds to spell it out for me.
Okay. Spell it out.
And I'm not spelling it out.
Give us the same experience. Come on, spell it out.
No. And so he spells it out. And after he spells it out, I go, buddy, that's not a thing. I go, I'm sorry, but that your little buddy that told you about this is dead wrong.
It's not slang?
And it wasn't a slang one, no. It was a misspelling is what it was. They put a B where another letter should be. Okay. I'll let you use your own imagination.
How many letters are in this word?
5.
Is there
you got it.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So that happens. And
say, well, you're not far off.
And we just sit. So I tell him. So we had the talk and everything, and then I said, at the end, I go, so buddy, it's got a gift from God, and it's meant for a husband and wife to enjoy and to procreate, to have children. And I said, and that's sex. And I said, and I go, now this is really important. You're not to go around telling all your little buddies about this because it's not your job. It's their parents' job. Just like it's my job to tell you. All right. And you can't go telling your little brother about any of the stuff we just talked about. Because it's my job. It's my job. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Because he's got a whole other idea of what it is. He hasn't even heard the word. But anyways, who knows? He's in first grade. Maybe he has. But anyways, so he goes, you mean it's a secret between you and I? I said, exactly. We don't go telling anybody about this because honestly, you barely know anything.
Right.
And so it's not your job. It's their parents' job to tell them about this stuff. And he goes, oh, okay, no problem. And then I said, so some cute little girl comes along. She's like, hey, Jonah, you want to have sex? I said, what do you say? He goes, not until I'm married. I said, that's my boy. And he, then we prayed together, and all was good.
That sounds pretty solid. Sounds pretty solid to me, Justin.
We'll just say this. I don't understand this whole birds and the bees talk. It was the male and female genitalia talk, apparently. That's more... You just gotta.
It's like more of a familiarization kind of thing. Like an introductory. Yeah. This is the equipment. We'll get on to the actual processes a little later, but these are the parts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is generally how they go. Kind of like the
and that's what I told him. I said, you just got like 101 here, all right, pal? You don't know anything else.
Kind of like the instructions to an IKEA dresser. It's not real flowery. It's really, really super basic kind of instructions.
Super basic. Yeah. It's on one page.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Couple of drawings.
Like, how did he... Yeah. All these extra parts you don't know what to do with.
Yeah. More confusing than it needs to be.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
And makes you angry after it's been going on for a while.
What?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm talking about the talk. I'm saying that the talk itself is like the instructions to an IKEA dresser. It's just after a while, you're just gonna get up, say some choice words that maybe start with a B. I don't know, and then throw something and go.
I don't know. Listen, if this is what you're doing in your talks with your kid, then we've got bigger issues. Like, I feel like I'm closing in on that. I feel like I'm closing in on Dad of the Year after my talk.
Your talk seems very solid to me. It seems pretty good.
It was. Like, I'll say it this way. I'll say that. Look, I did mess up.
How?
I did mess up when I had what we would refer to as a dad fail.
Oh.
I go, yeah. And so this was my dad fail. I'll just admit it. I'm not gonna say when he was saying, hey, I know another name for that, for the female genitalia.
Yeah.
I said, okay, well, go ahead and tell me. He said, no, I don't want to tell you. And he says, it starts with a B, Dad. And I go, and it really confused me. I go, because at first he said, I told him, I said, you're not going to tell me anything I ain't never heard. 38 years old, man. I've heard it all. I know it all. And he goes, it starts with a B. And I go, crap, I don't know it all.
Oh, no. It's something new.
It's something new. I don't know what it is. And so I kind of panicked a little bit. And then he spells it out for me. He spells it out. And I said, buddy, that's not the right word. It's not spelled that way. Well, stupid Dad goes, it's spelled this way.
Yes.
And I spell it out for him. I spell it out for him.
Right. And then he says it.
In that moment, I forgot how smart my kid is. He can read, he can spell, and I can spell a word out for him. And he sits there, he turns his head, he looks up, and then he goes, oh, you mean, and he says the word out loud. And I go, oh, I just hand to the head. I was like, oh no.
So he's going to go and correct his little buddy on that, right?
You better. I told him not to.
Excuse me, but you told me this, and I don't want you to look foolish. Let me correct you.
Let me educate you.
Just a moment.
Like a sub. So yeah, I was like, and then I had to proceed to tell him, like, listen, we don't say that word because it's not appropriate, and it's considered a slang word for it, and so that's why we don't say it, and it can offend people. And he's like, oh, okay, no problem. I had to say it's considered a bad word, and he goes, oh, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
So
that's the kind of word that you say, and you get your mouth washed out with soap.
Exactly. Yeah. That's definitely a soapy mouth word. Yeah. That's what that one is. Yeah. So
there's a couple of them floating around.
Yeah. So I felt like I had Dad of the Year award wrapped up with that talk until that part. And I was like, oh, I might have messed up. Like, if we can get that omitted from the whole, stricken from the records, like Jesus is up there and he's like watching over us, and he's like, ooh, he's like, hey, like he's calling the play-by-play to God. He's like, God, Father. He he's like, Father, he just told him it was a gift from God. And then God's sitting there. He's like, good one, Justin. And then he's like, he just told him, hey, God, he just told him that, it's supposed to save for marriage. And then God's like, he got another one, Jesus. And he checks that one off. And then, he says, he told him not to have sex before marriage, and outside of marriage, it's bad and it can hurt you. And he goes, good one there, Justin, and then, okay, he's teaching him, actually he's doing a good talk about actually the different equipment that men and women have. Yep. Created by me. It's a good thing. So that's another check in the box there. And then he goes, and then all of a sudden Jesus goes, oh no. And God's like, what happened? He goes, so you wouldn't believe it. Justin just taught him the slang word for the female anatomy. And God's like, scratch it out, balls it up, throws it over his shoulder. He goes, there goes that talk. And so
rookie mistake.
Yeah. So he'll well, at least he's got another kid. He can score an A on the next time. So yeah, he can do better the next time around. So that happened this week. So that was fun.
It's a wash with him anyway. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
That's it.
He knows bad words now. So
no. A bad word.
Welcome to intermission. Intermission.
Listen, I remember at my dad's during the summer, and like the neighborhood kids all playing baseball, and we're all out there. And then like one was always older than there was one that was much older than us, like by 3 years, and we were all sitting around after playing baseball, and he's all like, "Yeah, had sex with my girlfriend," and we were all like, "What sex?"
Oh man!
And then he's like, "Well, let me tell you about the young guys." He starts telling you everything about it, and you're just like, "Oh my gosh, really?" You're like, "Yeah, that's what happens." And then like you get older, get married, you have sex, and you go, "That guy was an idiot. That guy didn't know anything about sex. He didn't even know what he's talking about. What a dummy." And then I'm like, I can't believe I believed him. So, freaking dummy. So, not to mention like what he had described, like this guy described to me. I was like, dude, you might want to go get checked out because I think your junk might be broken. Like, yeah, it was like that don't sound normal, man. Like what I'm hearing now from you, and after my experience, you got some problems. You might want to go get that checked out.
Just a quick,
check.
Just let the doctor.
Just a quick check. Just let the doctor check you. Well, it probably is. It's probably very serious. Your junk is all messed up. So
you're gonna have to go see a urologist.
Yeah, you're I was gonna say something else, but I just stopped. So,
okay,
but anyways,
that's not a bad idea.
But yeah, I mean, it's not like I learned on the school bus, or I learned stuff at. Yeah, I learned it. You know what? I'm going to tell you something here in a second too. But I learned it on the school bus. I learned it like in the neighborhood with all the kids, whether I was in school or not.
Learned it at basic training.
Yeah. What? You learned it. You learned at basic training.
Oh, dude. Okay, so quick story.
Here it comes. This is going to be good.
I was at basic training. Look, I went from growing up in my house. Fairly sheltered, right? My dad's
extremely sheltered.
Fairly sheltered. My dad's a preacher.
Extremely sheltered.
Good kid, I guess. Not the rebellious whatever. Went from there to Bible college. Very sheltered in Bible college, pretty much. I mean, I didn't know about the kids smoking pot, getting it from the mail or whatever. I didn't know about that. And, whatever. Went from Bible college to being married. So that's I didn't have wild oats I've never sown them, right? That wasn't my thing. That's just that hasn't been my experience. So I go from there, having been married for a couple of years, into the Army and basic training. and I'm at basic training, and we go through it, and everything is cool, and it's all going all right. And then towards the end, we're standing there in formation, and the drill sergeants are starting to loosen up a little bit, because when you get towards the end, they loosen up a little bit and start to talk to you like regular people instead of screaming at you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And they were talking to us, and one of them was messing with me a little bit, and he was talking about like sexual stuff and whatever. And he came up to me and he was like, "Bender, you a virgin, ain't you?" I said, "No, I'm married." He's like, "But you were a virgin before you got married, right?" I was like, "Yes, Drill Sergeant, I was." He was like, "So on that first wedding night," and then he proceeds to say something, some crude slang. And I look at him and I'm like, I don't even know what that means. And then pretty much,
I have never heard that word before.
I don't even know what you're talking about. And then everybody around me is just like, "Oh, Bender, oh, I can't believe you don't know anything." And then I look around and I'm like, what? Because the entire time during basic training, these guys were all telling me, there was a funny thing for like my buddies who are in training with me to make fun of me for being ignorant over crude sexual slang, because I didn't know I didn't know any of it, and they were telling me all these different things, and I'm like, whatever, and that sort of stuff. And they're like, "You know about this?" I was like, "No, what in the world is that?" And they would try and get me to describe what these different things are, and I was like, "I don't know," and I would guess, and they would all laugh at me. It was funny.
Yeah.
And then the drill sergeant came over and he asked me, he was like, "You do this?" And I was like, "I don't even know what that means." Everybody's, "Oh, I can't believe you, Bender. I can't believe you don't know that." And then the drill sergeant's like, "I can't even believe this guy. I don't even know about it." And he just walks off. He just walks off, like shaking his head.
And you're sitting there going, "Can somebody please just tell me what this is?" Like,
right.
And you got your notepad and pen out. You're like trying to take notes. You're like, "Can somebody tell me what this is so I can try this?"
I'll never forget, man. I turned to my buddy Black, right? I turned over to Black and I'm like, "Dude, you told me all this stuff this whole time. You couldn't have told me that, so I wouldn't make an idiot out of myself." And he was by this time he was on the ground rolling around laughing at me. So,
yeah.
So it was just crazy. So yeah. If you don't learn it in school or in Bible college or from your wife, you'll learn it at basic training. That's what I know.
Yep. Did your dad give you the sex talk?
No, I didn't get a sex talk from my dad. No.
You got so you got it from basic training.
Yeah, but I had already, been
done it
sexually active for a while.
But you had never,
I figured it all out.
Well, yeah, it's not that difficult.
You remember Fat Rock?
Yeah. Did he give you the sex talk?
Before I get married, the night before, me and Fat Rock and Marshall and Casey and a couple of other boys, Mike Hughes and Mark Robinson, we were all hanging out and stuff. And then Fat Rock proceeds to give not just me, but everybody else who was there, many of whom had probably not had the talk before, the most disgusting sex talk ever. And it was pretty funny. So
it was.
Yeah, man, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Just, very practical tips. Nothing nothing, no functional kind of stuff, but more like pre and post kind of things that you need to be aware of, to make sure that your life is better. Yeah.
Yeah, I do that now. Because when I never got the sex talk either.
When you do premarital counseling, you do all this. You take the guy to the side and like, "Look, man, I don't know what anyone's told you, but let me break this down for you right quick."
I don't, but I am gonna because here's what I do. I say, because like I said, no one ever said anything to me. No one gave me the talk. I just taught my son. So no one gave me the talk. But it was like a week before I was getting married, and Bryce Folk,
oh no way, Bryce gave you the talk.
Yeah, it was like the most inopportune times too. Like it was like we're like, he's like, "Hey, we got to go get some stuff for this event that's coming up soon." I said, "All right." He goes, "You want to come with me?" And I go, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And we're in Walmart, and he goes, "So you're getting married, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Listen, on that night, you're gonna have to make sure you do this." And he just starts describing everything. And I go, whoa! We're in stinking Walmart, dude. Like, can we like not have this talk here? And he's like, it's important that you know this, Justin. And I'm just like, yeah, but we're like in the cereal aisle, and could we maybe do this in private or something like this? He's like, no, just we there's not enough time. And I'm just like, he starts telling me all this stuff.
Time's running out, Justin.
Time's running out, and like it's just kind of, and it's not like dirty,
right?
It's not like dirty, but it is like it's and it's
about 1,000 times dirtier than anything I would expect to come out of Bryce's mouth.
That exactly, but it's not like when I say, I'm going to use a word here, but it's not like that. But I'm going to use it was a graphic talk, but it was like an actual like legit, like it wasn't like slang and stuff like that. But it was a graphic talk, and it was good. But I was just like, come on, all right, just stop talking. All right, come on, can we just
finish shopping, please?
Yeah, can we? I'm like, can we just?
There's kids
Can we just
around,
get this
Bryce?
soda? Can we just get this soda and this garbage bags and just get out of here and just? Oh man! And so it was. So that's what we experienced. That was my experience. So, but what I do now is whenever like one of my young men that I know is getting married, like I have a young man that's getting married soon, and Mr. Matthew Imes. And I mentor him regularly. Like I sit down and we talk about God, and I help him. I answer questions, and we it's just like a discipleship type thing.
Yeah.
And I had a number of guys that over the years have come up to the youth group, gotten married, and then I had to talk with them, and it is so much fun. Yeah. I'm just like, so you know what you're doing, and they're like, I think I'm pretty good. I go, no, you're not. Let me tell you what you're going to need to do. And then I just start describing in very graphic detail.
You got no idea what you're doing. Let's start with that. Yeah. You got no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah. So you got this guy, you got this girl, and it's going to go. So I get really rapid. And sometimes like there is.
I'm sure they love to hear their preacher get really graphic with them. I'm sure that's
they're youth minister
for them.
Youth ministers at the time. So, but like There was one. I'm going to tell you this. One dude, I go, I give him the whole talk. And then it's done. And I go, hey, you want a little inside secret? And he goes, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll give you a little inside secret tip. And I tell him something that's not true at all. Like, just totally, it's so far out in the left field. You're just like, and like he looks at me and goes, I can't remember who it was. I think it was it was Eli, I think Jordan too. But I tell them this, and they go,
so the guys who might actually listen to this.
Yeah. Like, really? That's a thing. Yeah, that's a thing. You should.
It's legit.
I'm like, I go, night number 1, you should try that. And they're like, thank you very much. And no, total messing with them. Just messing with them and everything like that. Totally not true. It's just funny for me because I'm like, here they are on their wedding night. Maybe they're trying this, and then the wife's like, "What in the world are you doing?" It's inside secret tip.
Just go with it.
Just go. No. They get slapped or something like that. So, but I think it's funny to do that.
She's gonna pretend like she doesn't like this, but trust me, she will.
Yep. No, that's been my extent of the sex talk. Doozy. You want to hear something else? That funny that happened to me this week?
We're down this rabbit trail. Who knows what's going on? So, get us out of here. Get us out of this.
Everybody, let's get let's stop talking about this. So we're in core group. Core group starts back up. We're in core group, and everybody's joking about how I was getting busted on for my hair.
Nice.
On the pre-show. They're like, oh, you're getting busted on. And then and it's funny because everybody goes, they're looking at my hair and they're like, really, what's going on with that? Because like on Sunday, it looks normal. Yeah. Totally normal. It's a comb over. It's nicely done. It's not sticking up everywhere. But as you're looking at it right now, it's all over the place. Yeah. And I said, you guys want, and I said the same thing I said to everybody. And you know why I do this? Because I don't care. I'm okay. I'm very comfortable with myself. And I don't care, So I give that little talk and everything, and then one of the older ladies in our core group, she we're done and everything like that. And she goes, "I have something to tell you," and I go, "Okay." She goes, "It's about your hair," and I go, all right. She goes, I don't want you to hit me.
Okay.
I said, I'm not gonna hit you.
I haven't hit an old lady all day.
Yeah, like at least in a couple days, I haven't hit an old lady.
Yeah.
So I said, despite rumors going out there that I have a violent streak, I'm really not a violent person.
It's pretty. It seems like it's a recurring theme, yeah, Justin.
It is. Although I will say that tonight in my class, I did punch a guy in the face like 7 times. So.
But that's
there could be a pretty good argument to saying I am.
That's a punching guys in the face class, though.
It is. Yeah. It is. So I was just doing my job.
Right. If you were in an English class, they would expect you to write poetry or something. So you're just doing what you're supposed to.
Yeah. So anyways, so she said, I don't want you to hit me. I was like, I don't hit I don't hit women. I don't hit old ladies. I don't do that, just on a whim or anything like that.
Only when they need it.
Okay. Yeah. unless. There's always an unless,
right.
Unless you. And so she like pulls me down. She whispers in my ear, and I'm all like, "This is weird." I thought my wife thought she was flirting with me.
She wasn't.
No. She says this. She whispers in my ear, "Your hair reminds me of Hitler's hairdo." I know, right? And I was like,
awesome.
Like my jaw dropped. I was just like, what? Like, and honestly, I look at myself in the mirror and I go, I don't see Hitler hairdo.
Yeah, I'm not buying Hitler.
No, but I was just like, what?
Maybe
Hitler?
Duck Dynasty Stefan from Saturday Night Live. The guy who covers his face like this.
Yeah. It's like
in fact, if you could do this real quick, let me see that. You think good?
What? Duck Dynasty Stefan? Yeah. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's Duck.
I have to go watch
like
that.
If Stefan from SNL had a baby with Cy from Duck Dynasty, it would look like you.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. I understand. But I don't look like Hitler. My hair.
No, not like Hitler at all.
Yeah, I was like, I have like the beard alone nullifies anything up here.
Right.
Like on the down on the bottom nullifies anything on the top. And so
I think you're probably right with that. Like
and also down here? Listen, let's just say this. All right, take a look at this, Martin. I'm gonna do it. Look how long it is in the front. Like it covers my eye. Yeah. If anything, I look like a freaking boy band.
You look like an emo
boy band guy. That's more what I look like. But then the freaking beard nullifies that too.
Yeah. The most noticeable feature that you have is your beard. That's definitely.
Yeah.
So I mean, the beard even takes more attention than like the tattoos and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. Well, the tattoos aren't normally seen.
Yeah.
So, they're not normally seen. So, yeah, the beard definitely gets the most attention and everything.
Yeah, the tattoos are a little weird, man. I didn't know that you were a brony, but it's cool, bro. It's cool.
What? You have tattoos, too?
Yeah, but not of My Little Pony.
Dude, I don't have My Little Pony tattoos.
I mean...
I'm not a brony.
I'm a brony.
Where do you see on my body?
Bro. It's cool, man. It's cool.
Where? Like, do you see My Little Pony on me?
Don't worry about it. It's all good. It's all good.
Did I get a tattoo that I don't know? Do I have one on my back? Is there one on my back?
Do I have a lower back tattoo? Your lower back, yeah.
Do I have a lower back tattoo that I don't know about? Because if so,
you got a brony tramp stamp is what you got going on.
Somebody's in trouble. Somebody's in trouble. How in the world did that happen?
Well, man, you let Red start tattooing all over the place, and you're like, "Open canvas, Red," and he's like, "All right, brony."
I don't think Red would do that to me.
I don't think so either.
I think he loves me too much to do that to me.
I would like to get some more some more stuff done, but I'm just not sure what. You know what I mean?
Hey,
Meh.
when you come down
Meh.
in March, maybe let's go get matching tattoos.
That's, man, it's tempting, but it's really weird too. I mean, it's cool, but it's weird. So that's a weird.
You got to come up with a cool tattoo to get matching tattoos.
Okay.